for this Anthro inspired scarflet, you need to cast on 2 stitches with one of your size 8 knitting needles. So let's first make a slip knot. So that's 1 stitch, and we need to do 1 more. And if you don't know how to do the slip knot or casting on, I have videos for that, if you want to click on those. Okay, row 1, we're going to knit in the front and back of the first stitch, and then you just knit the second stitch. So pretend like we're knitting. We knit the front like this. Yeah. And then you knit into the back. And then your yarn is still in the back. Put it over. Okay, so that made 2 stitches. And then we just knit this last stitch. Okay, now for the second row, you're going to knit front and back of the first stitch. Okay, let's knit in the front, just like regular knitting. And then we slide our needle in the back. And then put our needle through. And our yarn around. Okay, and then I purl. And then knit the last stitch. So now we have 4 stitches. Now for row 3, you're going to knit in the front and back again. And then you knit 1. And then purl 1. And then you knit the last stitch. Now you have 5 stitches. Okay, now for row 4, you knit front and back for the first stitch. And then you purl. Then you purl across to the last stitch. And then the last stitch you knit. So purl, purl, purl. And then you knit. And we have 6 stitches. So row 5, we knit front and back for the first stitch. Front. And then you purl 1. and knit one. Keep doing this to the last stitch. Purl, knit, and you knit the last stitch. For row 6 is the same as row 4. You're going to knit front and back of first stitch and then purl until last stitch. So knit the front, knit in the back, purl till the last stitch. And then knit last stitch. And this is what it should look like. Okay, now you keep repeating rows 3 through 6, and you just work your increases into the pattern until you have 26 stitches on the needle. Alright? Okay, so I now have 26 stitches, and my last row was row 4. So now it says to knit this for 5 inches from the point. So this right here for me is 4 inches. So we just need to knit our work for 1 more inch. So you just do kind of the same pattern except you don't increase anymore. So we knit, and then we purl. And knit, purl, knit, and purl. Okay, and then at the end of each row you always are going to knit. So finish this row. Okay, I'm at the end of the row, and I purl, knit, and I knit again. Okay, the next row we knit, and then we purl all inside there until the last stitch, and then we knit that one. Okay, so keep repeating these 2 rows until you hit 5 inches from the bottom, from your tip, right there. Okay, now you're going to knit 1, and then the next stitch you put on your stitch marker. And then we knit the next one. And then we put the next one on the stitch marker. And keep doing this till the end of the row. So you should have 13 stitches on your needle and 13 stitches on your stitch holder. Okay, I just finished that row. Got 13 stitches on my stitch holder, 13 on my knitting needle. I'm going to turn my work around, and I'm just going to ignore all these stitches and let's work on knitting the ones on our needle. For the second row, you're going to purl 1, knit 1. End with a knit. Okay, keep repeating rows 2 and 3 11 more times. So altogether you'll be doing this 13 times, okay? So start with doing the purl and the knit. Okay, now that we've done that, let's take these stitches off and put them on our needle. These on our stitch holder. We need to cut this yarn because we are going to start knitting our other 13 stitches. So we're going to purl 1. Let's get our new yarn, and I just make a loop like that and hold it tight. Okay, and then we do the same thing like our other 13 row or stitches. Purl 1, knit 1. And then the next row we knit 1, purl 1. And we do this for 13 rows. Now what we're going to do is we knit 1 from the holder and then knit 1 from the stitch on the needle. And then you keep doing that until they're all on one needle. So this is how we're going to do this. Let's pretend we're knitting. Well, we are. And then you see the yarns on this, on the needle. We're just going to knit it like that. Okay. Now we're going to knit from the needle. Now let's knit from the stitch holder. And then we come back and we knit the needle. So now you have a little pocket. Pretty cool. Okay, I just redid that whole row. You know how we just knitted all of these all back together on one knitting needle? Well, when I did that, I flipped it over on the right side and there was just all purls, all bumps. And it's not supposed to look like that. So I redid it, and instead of knitting, I purled them all. So like on this side, I purl them all and it looks like that on the back side, which is fine. So the front still looks good. So if that happened to you, I would start over and purl like I did. I don't know, but the pattern says to knit. So I don't know, I guess you guys can help me out if I did that wrong, but anyways. Okay, so now do the sand stitch, the knit one and purl one on the front, which is the right side, and then on the back you need to be knit and then purl on the inside and then knit on the last stitch. Okay, and keep doing that for 12.5 inches. Sorry about that. Okay, now we are going to knit 2 together across the row, so that will leave us with 13 stitches. Okay, now that we have 13 stitches, we are going to knit 1 and purl 1 for 13 rows. We knit, and then purl. and purl. Purl and knit. That's one. Okay, so it looks like, see how this is a purl, knit, purl, knit. So, okay, on the wrong side, do the knit one, purl one, and then on the right side, we want to keep it where this are all knits. So we purl and knit. Purl one. And knit one. And that'll look much better. And there you go. I'll see you at the end of row 13. This is the end of row 13. And the end of my row 13, I am on the wrong side, as you can see. And knit. Okay, and we flip it over, and now we need to knit in front and back of every stitch. Knit the front, and then we go, see, through the back, like that. And now we have 2 stitches. Knit in the front, I pull it apart so it's pretty loose, and then I go through the back, the front, and knit through the back. Okay, so keep doing this till the end of the row. Knit through the front, through the back, knit through the back. Okay, now we have 26 stitches again. And then we're just going to go back to the sand stitch for the same amount of rows. Okay, so now we're trying to do the ending, the point and everything. But before the point, we're supposed to do the sand stitch. It looks to me like I only did it from here, which looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or around 5 to 6 rows. So I'm only going to do the sand stitch for 5 and 6 rows. So I am starting on the wrong side. So we just do the sand stitch. Remember in the back, you always knit the last stitches, the back or the wrong side. And then in the middle, you purl all of the stitches. Okay? So that's what I'll be doing for this row. The next row I'm on the right side, so I always knit the first stitch, the first and the last, and then I'm going to purl and then knit, and purl, knit, 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 and I always knit the last one, so it'll be a purl, knit, and a knit. Okay, so keep doing this for however long you are supposed to. For me, like I said, it was around 5 to 6 rows. Okay, now to shape the point, I'm going to, what you do for every row, you're going to knit 1, and then knit 2 together. Okay, and then you just keep doing the remaining sand stitch. So I need to, this is all my knits, see all that? So I know that I need to purl next. So since I'm on the right row, you just knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then the last stitch is always a knit. Okay? Okay, now we're on the wrong side, and we're still shaping the point, and we knit 1, and then we knit these 2 together. Okay, and then we just purl, purl, purl to the last stitch and knit. Alright, so you keep doing this until you have only 2 stitches remaining. Not too bad. So you should do this for, since we have 26 stitches, I think around 24 rows. That's what it should be. Okay, so I will see you at the end, and I will show you how to bind off. Alright, I'm left with only 2 stitches and I just need to bind off. So I just knit 1, knit 2, and then I take the first one that I knitted, I pull it over the second one, and then just pull this through. And then you get your scissors and snip it. And I'm going to pull the remainder out. Okay. And then I'm just going to weave my ends. And then we go back.